purge.
They're always doing their daily purge.
They're such dickheads, dude.
That's what they.
I can literally see their fuck. They wonder why I canceled all advertising with them. They call me up. What? You've advertised with us for 4 years. Why'd you cancel? Because I see fucking 200 followers drop every single day. That's why.
Yeah, and that's why we are on Spreely.com.
Yes.
Spreely.tv. All things Spreely. It's Speak Freely. Yeah, I remember the days. The biggest I ever grew my one Facebook account was like 95,000 followers. And I used to be paranoid as all shit going, oh my God, what would I ever do if they canceled me? And like 3 years ago, they wiped that page out. I'm like, oh, I couldn't care less. All right, hey, happy Monday. Rants of Izzo show here on Spreely TV. All things speak freely, spoken freely. Speech freely. It is what it is. It's Monday, and welcome to the show. All right, Matthew Spear, The Dumb Show, is co-piloting today. Matthew, I think it would be very appropriate if you kicked it off and told everybody about The Dumb Show.
Yeah, you guys can go over to thedumbshow.com. We are live 7 p.m. Eastern across all social media, Spreely TV Channel 1. We had good friend Damani Felder on from the Wright Brothers last Friday, which was good. I think this week we're going to get the Berm Pit boys over there. So, yeah, nice. We're doing well. Yeah.
Nice. Excellent. Guys, when you if you support the show, which is what you should, and you go to Spreely.com, you're going to see everything there from news articles, swag, if you like your T-shirts and whatnot. We got some cool ones there, like I'm voting for the convicted felon. You can go and check out the other shows. Yeah, Spreely's got some good stuff. It's home to the Rants of Izzo. But The Dumb Show, the Berm Pit Podcast, Report and Opine, the Shannon Joy Show, Evening Rants, and there's some few others being added to that fantastic lineup. The social media. Social media. If you're like, hey, I wanna be part of something that's awesome, go create an account on Spreely.com. You can say some free speech shit, and nobody's ever gonna wind up blasting you. It's fantastic. We are live in less than a minute. If you do want to support what we're working on here, oh my God. Go over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or WordsMatterPublishing.com and buy my book, Before the Badge, Everything You Need to Know Before You Become a Cop. It's Before the Badge, Everything You Need to Know Before You Become a Cop. Consequently, if you feel very compelled to support this show and let it continue into the eons as time goes on, I wouldn't mind being 85 and on my deathbed doing the show. Support the show. You can go to rantsofizzo.com and you can donate some fucking love there. And then lastly, don't forget one of our show sponsors is piratecigar.com. That's piratecigar.com. When you go there and you get the Izzo Maduro, use the code Izzo and you get a nice little discount on that fat fucking gorgeous cigar. All right, let's do a show here. It's gonna be a Monday.
Prepare yourself.
The opinions of the host and guests on the show are exclusively just that, opinions. That means that they shouldn't be the cause of your state of being offended. Why does everybody get so butthurt?
Okay, let's go. Ready, go!
Sit down, shut up, and pay attention. This is the Rants of Izzo Show with your host, Dominic Izzo, from porn to politics. We touch every third rail we can find. You might want to put your headphones on so your mom can't hear this. It's been called the most entertaining 60 minutes on the internet, and it starts now. Let's do this.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome Monday. It is the Rants of Izzo show here on Spreely Media. Awesome to see you people in the chat room. Over Sarah Nichols, Bev, Kelly Wilson, Tamika Brown, April Schoen. I know you're not watching yet, but you'll be watching on the replay. If you guys do enjoy this show and you want to get a little bit more involved and you want to make some comments and all that kind of stuff, there's a chat because we know you guys watch on your other platforms that aren't Spreely TV. So if you do, there's the Rants of Izzo show chat on Telegram where everybody comes to drop their comments and critique the show and contribute to the show. Definitely. I love when you guys do that. Matthew Spear, how was your 4th of July?
Uneventful.
Yeah. Did you keep all your fingers and blow off any fireworks though?
Yeah, no fireworks. It's the first time we haven't. We're from Houston, so that there's real fireworks, and coming to Virginia, it's just like sparklers and shit. So it's boring.
Do they not
like we
allow
would
you?
send up mortars.
Do they allow you
You'd
to
take
there
out
or no?
No, not in Virginia. Yeah, we would take out planes in Houston. They'd fly over the airport. We'd try to hit them.
Dude, we went to my aunt's house, and she borders the city of Chicago. Like, I'm 20 minutes away from it. She's like a stone's throw away from it, and it was for hours. It started at 9 o'clock. We left like midnight, and it was there was no pause in between the fireworks. And I'm like, hey, fireworks are gunshots. So it was a good weekend for some, but not for all. So let's take a look at. I didn't tally. I tallied yesterday, and there was 100. On the left-hand side of this column, Matthew, we are looking at, for the viewing audience, heyjackass.com. And I know that sounds like a funny website, but for the viewing audience, for those who could see, you get to see how unbelievably well broken down this is, from, the most violent neighborhoods in Chicago to the placement of where the bullets landed in the person, to the close rate. I think or solve rate, which is, I don't even think they have one yet. Yeah, we have 23.4% of homicides have been cleared in Chicago. 19% of the people have been arrested. That means there's...
my God.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But on the left-hand side, if you could see, they started calculating shots at Wednesday at 12:20 in the afternoon. And as you can see where my mouse is, right? Over here.
Yeah.
If you watch, I'm going to start scrolling down until it stops. So it started Wednesday in the afternoon. We're going down, down, down. This is easily 100 people who were shot between then and Sunday, 11:50 p.m. The red, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 people were killed. Easily 100 people were shot. And we had here mass shootings are 4 or more. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people were shot at 6:15 in the morning. They don't even wait to for your morning coffee at 7100 West Woodlawn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people were shot. 3 of those were killed. Then we move on to one at 12:15 a.m. on Friday night at 1300 West Hastings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people were shot. Nobody was killed there. 1:45 a.m. at 100 South Menard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So far, 7, 8, 9. 9 people are shot. So that's 3 mass shootings so far we have in Chicago. Let's see. Oh, this is only 3. So that doesn't count as a mass shooting. And then
there's one.
3:25 a.m. 1, 2, 3, 4 people were shot. And then look, this one, and then 1, 2, 3 people were shot. So we have 2 that were shy of mass shootings and 4 total mass shootings in Chicago. Matthew, the question is, do Black Lives really matter?
In
Chicago.
It depends.
In Chicago.
It depends.
I'll give you the out. In liberal Democrat-run Chicago City, where these shootings are predominantly black on black, do Black Lives matter?
I would say in 37 of the top 50 cities, which are the highest in the homicide rates among African-American youth, Black lives indeed do not matter.
Yeah. There you have it. Show's over, folks.
How many of those were with AR-15s? None?
You know what, though? I have to wonder what the firepower is, because if you ever see some of the videos that don't get scrubbed for the internet first, and you actually see like the gangs that are shooting Chicago, they've got. I'm sure that they're shitty, but here's a couple of different things, and maybe they've evolved over the years, because you're a firearms aficionado. Can you imagine like what would happen if you had a pistol in one hand and you lackadaisically pulled the trigger and your wrist was really loose? What would happen with the firearm, for those who don't really know?
Firearm would jump around as sporadically as your arm would.
Yeah. Do you think that it's a risk of having like either a class 1 or class 2 malfunction happen?
I think you're asking for indiscriminate rounds to go down range with no intent on where they would go.
Yeah.
That's my.
Yeah. Well, and then if you don't clean it, if you never cleaned your firearm,
right,
what would happen?
Right. If you don't clean the firearm's going to have a jam, or you're going to have a class 1, class 2 malfunction, or you're going to have a negligent discharge, or there's a lot of things that can take place, but ultimately none of it's good.
So I don't think they really practice well firearms safety precaution or firearms maintenance. So I have to wonder
in gangs,
if they did, how much accurate would that body count be, or how much higher would that body count be?
That's the reason why it's actually probably go down, is because with indiscriminate fire comes a lot of unintended targets hit. So I think if you would actually do some training, and I think maybe that's a great idea, let's go down and train some of these gangs on how to accurately execute what they're trying to achieve. And then therefore they would hit their intended target, not kill 5 civilians or a baby sleeping in a crib while they're trying to execute the mission.
It's got to be a market for that. As we're in the eighth day of July, there's been a total of 24 people have been murdered in this month alone in the city of Chicago, and 135 people have been shot for the month. So far for the year total, we've had 312 people were killed this year, murdered in Chicago, and we've had a total of 1,574 people shot for the year in Chicago. Nobody gives a shit.
How many of those were unarmed shootings perpetuated by police officers to unarmed youth?
It's on the website. They've got
2
police involved shootings in the year of 2024. So far for the year of 2024, Chicago has had 3 police involved shootings where 3 people were wounded and 2 people were killed. So I'm going to say that's that's 5 total. So they've had 5 total police shootings. For the total,
how many unarmed?
I don't know. For the total,
0.
dude. For the total, and this should show something.
0.
This shows a massive drop in numbers here. The highest on this list, 2012, had 49 wounded by the police and then 8 killed by the police. 2011 had 37 wounded by the police and then 23 killed by the police. You look at last year, or 2022, 21 were wounded and 2 were killed. And if you jump to last year was 5 and 5. So those are pretty significant decreases. It's either cops are afraid to do the job or they're not allowed to do the job. Either one.
And the interesting thing is, I don't care if somebody's armed. I really don't care who they are, what color. But unarmed is interesting, considering that on average for the last 10 years, it's an average of 17. So the whole Colin Kaepernick taking a knee and the BLM movement of unarmed black shootings is a complete fucking myth.
I have to ask: does unarmed mean not dangerous?
Well, here's the interesting thing: when you want to go ahead and consider it this of intent, somebody who is reaching for a weapon, reaching for a firearm, reaching for a knife, but wasn't armed at the time. And that number gets cut down by like 75%. And now the narrative is so completely quashed. It's almost embarrassing.
Yeah. Unarmed doesn't mean not dangerous. I mean, I can't, every time I try to Google it, I can't find it. I never save it. But the video is like, it's got to be 30 years old now, of the one female state trooper who's trying to take the black guy into custody behind the Aerostar. And he just ground and pounds the shit out of her and goes, I'm not going back to jail. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we have to talk about Joe Biden hates black people. I don't know if you know that.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm aware.
Okay. So what is your evidence? We'll start with that, and then I'll offer mine. What makes you think as a person, because we can't judge a person's heart, what makes you think Joe Biden's a racist?
That's a great question. I think there's a lot of things that make this clearly evident. Let's begin. Eulogizing Strom Thurmond, George Wallace, and Byrd, who are all former Ku Klux Klan white nationalists who hated black people, and then saying, "This is interesting. They're good people on both sides, I guess," because they accuse Trump of that, but Trump never eulogized Klan members and grand wizards. So there's one. How about this? You don't vote for me. You can't figure out between me and Trump. You ain't black. We can go ahead and talk about how Obama is clean and intelligent black man. We can talk about super predators. We can talk about the crime bill. We can talk about the busing of not wanting to allow inner city kids to bus into white schools. We can talk about Kamala Harris, as vice president, who said he was a racist. We can talk about his comments at 7-Eleven. Everybody who works there has a Slurpee. We can go on and on and on. But most importantly, go ahead.
How did Trump miss that opportunity at the last debate where Biden brought that up again, where he said there's very fine people on both sides, and Trump just didn't come back? You eulogized KKK members. Why did he not fire back?
Well, because I think it's like when a guy's literally wrapping a rope around his neck and throwing around the tree, you don't interrupt him. Just let him keep doing his thing. I think Trump was just like, this is great. This is like, you can't pay for this. But Biden is most assuredly a 1960s racist.
Yes.
And the lynching of Clarence Thomas is obvious of that. And the way that he talks about black people, the way he interacts with black people, nothing's changed. He just ran for office. And if anyone goes, well, his character is so good. Listen, he's a Catholic who believes in third trimester abortions. Isn't it interesting that he actually said and admitted when they said, well, what's the cutoff for abortions? And he said third trimester. Why wasn't that everywhere? I haven't heard that. And the reason why is because Republicans are staying away from abortion this cycle and trying to make it go away. But for me, that was one of the most important things, is when Joe Biden admitted that aborting a child in third trimester is okay. So the guy's a fucking liar. It's all he ever does. He's
rich, affluent, white, upper class elitist who hates people who are beneath him. And the biggest thing that telling for me was, and I had to play it through my head, was when he sat there and he was in Congress saying, we don't need any another, N-word big shot mayors or anybody. Right. The ease in which that just flowed off of his tongue in a time where it's like, and I know, and his out for that was he was quoting somebody when, for the sake of everybody in that room, he shouldn't have said it. Shouldn't have said it. Right. So yeah, Joe Biden, I try not to judge people at all, but Joe Biden 100% is a racist. And this was one of the best video evidences of it. I guess the weekend was a rally, and Matt, I like you to do the no pun intended color commentary, if you will, for the listening audience at home, while I cue this clip up.
Can I have some context before you hit play?
Yeah.
Before you hit play. But when on the way in, Democrats are like, oh, this is a cheap deep fake. He hugged that Negro. he embraced her and gave her everything she wanted. No, he didn't. He was still talking to the white person behind, which is the older lady, and she put her arms around him and he didn't reciprocate. So give me a break. This was absolutely not a hug. So this is now taking up when he's exiting. Great opportunity as she's wearing a teacher shirt and a Biden-Harris sign.
Now they purposely pick people where to be placed. This is not like we know that he does nothing without being told. So she was handpicked from the crowd. Hey, go here, stand between these two people, hold this sign. And then Joe, you're going to go down this way and say hi to everybody. So he was told, and she was purposefully logistically placed right there. And we're going to play this.
Right. And that's the way that the Democrats are treating her. Right. So now they're like kind of blaming her and, saying, oh, well, you know what? She went in line twice and, that she shouldn't do that. She should give her. And I'm like, you guys, why don't you just essentially do the old Biden thing? Y'all going to put you back in chains. The way that they treat African-Americans who don't fall in the line is some of the most racist shit I've ever said. More racist than anything Donald Trump has ever said. More racist than anything I've ever said. It's insane. Anyway, here's the video.
There you go.
And a guy who is having CPD is going to go ahead and do a selfie. Now she's like, hi. And he's like, fuck you.
He doesn't. I want to replay that. He spends, I don't know. He's got a phone in his hand here. So I think maybe he took her phone and then he's going to record it. This guy's got a phone here and he's waiting Biden because she's touching him, his hand in the back, Joe. He comes right up. He takes time here. Yeah. Now in Biden's defense, I don't see a phone in her hand like for a selfie or anything.
No, but if Secret Service is there, first of all, they completely suck. I want you to go back 3 frames. I want you to look at the Hispanic lady who's looking up at him. Stop. Perfect.
Here, right here?
Look at her earrings. No. Go to the right. The lady with the large red earring. No, you had her.
Oh, these
right there.
What the fuck are these? Look like a uterus.
That's a uterus.
Those are uterus. Yeah.
Those are uterus areas. So these ladies obviously, but she's just sitting there and she's just waiting. She looks like a young Michelle Obama. And she's just waiting, and he just looks right over her completely.
It just goes right past. He's like,
goes
okay,
to
it's
Whitey.
good to see you. Let's do some push-ups, fat. And she's like, hi, Mr. President. And he doesn't even shake her hand and moves right on to fucking white old lady bitch. Yep.
She's like fucking cracker.
It kills me how she just sat there and summed up, oh, look, I got used. I'm the token today. And then look at there.
Yeah, look at the Asian guy back there too. Asian guy's like, he's like, hey, Mr. President. He's just like, whatever.
This is greatest. As the White House press secretary, but like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, has she been asked about this yet?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't watched the news this morning, but I love this lady. First of all, Secret Service. You don't get to manhandle the president like this. They're usually like, you leave a little bit of space for the Son, God, and the Holy Ghost. You know, like when you're dancing, they put a balloon in front of you, like in the old school. But there's no OPSEC here at all. Like none. You don't get that close to the president. And can you imagine if they did that with Reagan or Clinton or Bush? The Secret Service is nowhere to be found. I'm sorry. You could scratch him. You could stick him with a needle. You could poke him in the fucking eye. There is no way. And I'm telling you, it's going to come back to bite him, dude.
Go a step further. He's old and frail, right? How do you know who's not
just push
sick
him over.
Who's not going to get sick and give him a cold? Because you get a little bit immune compromised because of his age. Dude, her face is it's a campaign fucking for the right
and even if he didn't look over her, Dom, she feels that way, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's not about, Maya Angelou said it best, because I'm going to show my bigoted side here.
He's not even looking at her.
Right. She said it best. People will never remember what you say, but they'll always remember how you make them feel. And she's like, fuck this. I'm voting for Trump.
Oh, dude. What's the other one? Never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Fucking this. Oh, look.
And when people tell you who they are, believe them.
Do you see her? Look at her tap him on the shoulder. Hey, and he doesn't even acknowledge her. She goes, hi. He gets to this broad, gets a fucking hug.
She's just like, she's like, why is it always the Latinos? Why do they haven't been oppressed for 400 years? I mean, and you know what? It's kind of true. LGBTQ and Latinos were accepted a hell of a lot faster than African Americans. And African Americans are still working on it. And the funny thing is, the best kept secret in the world, if you talk to African Americans and ask them this question, hey, are you upset that the LGBTQ community literally took like 25 years to gain acceptance and you guys are still working on it? And there's like no comment. No comment.
I think there's a wider view of this I want to look at. And we'll pull this up because, we did. And I thought, to be honest, where they went was a lot bigger. Here's a zoomed out view of it. That's it. It's not like he had tons of people to interact with. And let's take a look at where's he at? When he comes out.
Okay. So watch this. This is the first portion. This is the first part. So look at her. She's got her phone. She's like, Mr. President.
Oh, he hugs. Like, hugs this broad, probably because he's like, hey, we're the same age. Hug.
Yeah. Looks right through her. She's like, hi, whatever. Okay. Yeah. Whatever. I'm going to talk to the white guy.
Oh my God. Goes right past. Dude, he went right. He brushed her off. Look at his body posture. He's like, do you ever see the key and Did you ever see the Key and Peele one where he's playing Obama? He's like, 1/8 black, and then he hugs that guy. He like Key and Peele,
Assalamualaikum, my homeboy.
Right, and then he snubs all the white people. Look at his body language when he goes to the black people versus the white people.
Yeah,
he's
look at Grandma Funpucker over here. She's got arms open. She's like arms wide open, and he gets a full body hug. Look at this. He's like, yeah, what's going on? And he passed that black lady right there. He's touching him. And,
oh my God. How are you? Thanks for being here, token. And then just keeps.
Yeah, doesn't even. And then the guy is like, dude, God. Get in here. Oh, and he even gives him a little chest pound.
God, dude, I don't get it. All this time with this garbage of the liberal media. how, and we've talked about this several times, you know, where I accuse you of being a little bit too over intelligent for the average audience. How can you not just continue to show this information all the way from Charlemagne the God to the convenience store, 7-Eleven shit, to whatever it is? He is, and I don't say this, I don't like to label what's in the heart of another human being. This man is he's a I think he hates every other race except for whites. He's a fucking racist. But
They're all
people
like
refuse
that.
to believe it.
Hillary Clinton was like that too.
God.
Hot sauce in my bag, swag. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is Democrat. Listen, I don't know why people are so surprised. Okay. Democrats, they're the founders of the KKK. They're founders of slavery. They're founders of Jim Crow laws. They had put bounties on the people's heads over the Underground Railroad, Japanese internment camps, the Great Society, a Manifest Destiny, Tuskegee experiments. 13 states that were against civil rights were all southern states that were Democrat states. And I will say a lot of Democrats in the North, they did vote along with civil rights. I got to give them that. And then the modern day slave plantations of today, the crime bill, for God's sakes, which is a three strikes rule, which did more to set African Americans back than any other. Modern day eugenics of aborting babies and completely breaking apart the family unit. This is Democrat policy. Why is anyone fucking shocked that they are the party of racism? And they're sitting here like, no, it's the Republicans. Listen, I don't hold people responsible for what their fathers did. Okay. I'm sorry. But when you sit here and try to turn around and blame us, then I'm going to be like, oh, okay, let's go ahead and have a history lesson here. Give me a break.
I guess the comment when Kareem was asked about it, she said, that's a cheap fake going around social media. He doesn't snub minorities. Right. He loves Hispanics, Middle Eastern, Asians, and the like. As I said, Biden loves minorities. Anything less is a cheap fake, which is the new buzzword now. It was just an off day for him. He had a long and exhausting day and had limited time to meet and greet before this next event. Okay.
He had jet lag. Again. Okay. I mean, come on. He had a cold. Seriously, Dom, stop being an asshole. You're such a Nazi, racist.
I don't know. I don't know at all.
Dude, he has a black vice president. You need to stop. He's so inclusive. He said that I'm only going to pick a woman and she has to be black. I mean, that's how much more inclusive can you get by picking a sexist and a racist way to do things by using DEI to decide who's going to be the vice president of the United States? Come on, dude. The guy's the most inclusive guy there is. It's equity, bro. Equity.
Okay. I could see that we're right there. Hey, you want to have a feel good story today?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's take a pause before we switch to our next topic and go to a feel-good story. A woman has been jailed for 7.5 years after dropping her newborn daughter out of a window because, quote, she was worried the baby would ruin her career. Katrina Jovanovic, 28, from Laufen am Nektar. Laufen, do you speak German?
Very little.
I'm doing German sizer porn. She's from
9.
Alrighty then. Laufen am Nektar, Baden-Württemberg State in Germany, was found guilty of manslaughter at the Herborn District Court on Wednesday, July 3rd. Judges heard how she had given birth at home in secret to 10 months ago on September 12th, and she dropped her baby daughter from the apartment window almost 12 feet onto the tarmac below. What? That's it? 12 feet?
How old?
Well, I guess it was a newborn, so I don't think she waited 10 months.
Okay, then you might as well drop an egg from 12 feet. It's the same thing.
Yeah, you gotta grab by the feet, though. And you gotta dang like heads. You gotta hope that head hits first.
That baby's dead. Dude,
horrified,
at 12 feet, that baby's dead.
If landing on grass or concrete?
Doesn't matter. Okay. 12 feet dead.
Horrified passerby found the minutes-old infant with a shattered skull underneath Jovanovic's balcony and called the police.
Correct.
Jovanovic admitted to the crime in the beginning of the trial in April, but could not explain the moment to the court. She also claimed that the She had not realized she was pregnant, but the prosecution accused her of murder and deliberately concealing a pregnant from her colleagues and neighbors. Prosecutors told the court that Jonovic thought being a mother would spoil her career as an executive at Porsche in their legal department.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, a couple.
This is some like woman who works at like, 7-Eleven Berliner. I mean, she's a fucking executive.
Pretty prestigious, dude.
For Porsche?
Do you know what I see this
to get that car back. Are you kidding me?
Have you seen the SUV Porsche? It's fucking gross.
Yeah.
Can't stand it.
Yeah, dude, and first of all, you're German and you fucking work at a Porsche place, you cow.
You're German, and here's how I know she probably doesn't. They're into fisting, so she could have very easily not known that she's pregnant.
You got to give it to them. At least they've grown. They're not gassing and fucking burning, cremating people anymore.
I see this
Germans.
as a pro-abortion argument by saying, hey, well, if this could have been if this is America, clearly. There's two different angles for this. Postpartum depression. She immediately kicked in and her hormones kicked in. She didn't know what she was doing. Or you can see Democrats come across and say, well, imagine the pressure she didn't have if she knew she had the right to healthcare, women's healthcare.
Yeah, it's still murder. And here's the thing is that any prosecution is going to tear her up because her reasoning was it was premeditated because she said that this would harm my career. Mm-hmm. So your intent was not to get pregnant. However, you did. So she's toast. And they gas her. Just fucking gas. See, here's the thing. My dad said it best, and he was a very rational human being. Take the rapist, take the fucking pedo, take the guy who calls and just wipes out old people's fucking bank accounts, take the robber, take the drive-by, and just line up 50 people on national TV from each city and fucking hang them. And 7:00 Saturday night, you hang 50 people for these crimes, and it's instantaneous. Like they go ahead and they rape on a Friday, they hang on a Saturday, and crime would go down by exponential numbers.
Okay.
But we won't do that, will we?
No, we don't. We won't do that for a couple different reasons. It's like all those people who go around saying or wearing the "kill your local pedophile" shirt. It's like, are you willing to do that? And then I'm me. Just call me middle of the road, or you know what? Call me I don't know what you would call me. I value that.
You don't think that capital punishment, literally people going on death row for fucking 10 years,
it's a waste.
Is a deterrent?
No. Going on death row for 10 years no. It should be like I saw the movie whatever HBO did this movie years and years and years ago about the guy from Russia who killed like 70 people. And it was Stephen Ray was in it, and it was really damn good. And at the end of it, after he was convicted, they brought him to a basement, put a bullet in the back of his skull. It was immediate.
Right.
We had John Wayne Gacy, killer clown. He was Des Plaines, Illinois. He was on death row for 15 years. I was a teenager when I watched the news of his execution. I'm like, why are we keeping him alive? I never understood that. Never understood that.
Well, that's my point. So maybe putting on national TV is a little excessive, but if you want to send a message, just increase when somebody is prosecuted and the sentence comes down, just make it within 2 weeks, make it within 30 days. I don't understand why we sit here and stroke each other off for 20 years and let these guys survive. If you are convicted and the death penalty is the decision, then put these people to death. I'm tired of this shit. Enough.
I, though, however, want and need due process to be done. That's my only caveat. It's important.
Sure.
Sadly, we've talked about this many times. We are grooming a mentality of conservatives who are bloodthirsty.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. I agree 120%. Dude, I can't even agree more. As a person who actually got to witness someone put to death, it's a horrendous and horrible thing. However, due process is absolutely important. I'm all about the law, but once you are convicted and your appeal process is over, keeping you alive is ridiculous. You should be put to death. I mean, it's stupid.
I'm good with that.
Get it over with.
I'll let this slip now. I'm working on scheduling an interview with Sheriff Mark Lamb. Yeah, because he went on the Sean Ryan show, and I didn't watch this episode yet, so I'm gonna have to do my homework and do it. But this is a 60-second soundbite that if you, and I know that our job in the media is to get people to kind of like take interest, right? It's shock and awe, sex and controversy sell. And I want to put this in your position. If you were sheriff and you were running for Senate, because I believe he's running for Senate as well too, and would you put this audio and video up on your Instagram site? This is the caption of this is the number one reason to join law enforcement. This is from the words, it's Sheriff Mark Lamb's own words.
You get to carry a gun. You get to drive fast. If people get out of line, you get to rough them up. And that's the job? I'm like, sign me up. My neighbor says, hey, you want to go on a ride along? I'm like, sure, let's do it.
How old are you?
I'm 33 years old at this point. I go on this one ride along, and it was on an Indian reservation. We go on a graveyard shift. One of the calls we go on is a dad who had found a 20-year-old with his 14-year-old daughter. So the dad and the guy get into a scuffle. The guy runs out the back. I don't know why, but they let me out of the car. I'm out there armed with a flashlight and courage, walking around like I know what I'm doing. I walk up to this old abandoned travel trailer, and I see what I think inside of all this travel trailer is all this trash and clothes and just old junk in there. But I see what I think is a quarter size of skin in there. And I'm like, hey, I think this guy's in here. So they go in, move all the stuff. Sure enough, he's there. They grab him, they rough him up, tase him, put him in cuffs. I went home that morning, woke my wife up, and I said, honey, I'm going to be a cop.
That's a Sean Ryan show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He's a good dude.
Sheriff, who's running for Senate, says that.
There's a reason I wasn't a cop. And I went and studied criminal justice, and that was my intent. And although I worked with a lot of sheriff's departments and taught firearm instruction and went on the criminal justice firing team and all that type of shit, I was hell-bent to work for the FBI. That's what I wanted to do when I got out. And fortunately, my body said no. It's the reason why I stopped the military. And at the time, I just couldn't do it. But I went on several ride-alongs. And the best advice I ever got was from a Idaho Springs police officer, sheriff in Colorado. I went on a ride along with him, and he turns around and he goes, "What's up with the ride along? What are you doing?" I said, "I want to be a cop. I mean, I wanted to, continue to work military, but I think I want to be a police officer." And he goes, "Do you love paperwork?" I said, "No." He says, "Then don't be a fucking cop." That was it. And I was like, "Well, expand on that." So the entire night he's just telling me, he's like, "Dude, most of my life is writing paperwork and retelling stories that I've already experienced. And if that's not for you, then this job isn't for you." Is that true? Is that accurate? I mean, that was
paperwork
3 decades ago.
We sat there in the academy every day after every class. So the academy had 8-hour days, and you had 6 of those hours of class. And after every single class, you had to write an evaluation. It was a preform sheet, and it was, what did you learn from this class? Did you find the information? This exact same questions every day for every class. And the instructors would rotate. You'd have like 4 or 5 instructors throughout the day. And then you'd write your little comments at the bottom of it. And people were like, by the second week, people were getting all pissed off, blah, blah, blah. And I got to write this every day. And I go, I said, and I was one of the older guys in there. I was 26. And a lot of the guys were 21 in there. And I look and I'm like, do you not realize this is your job for the rest of your career?
Yeah.
They're training you to do this. What's your thoughts on a sheriff acknowledging that he had a raging hard-on to rough people up for a job, acknowledging that they caught somebody, a dad with a 20-year-old dad with his 14-year-old daughter, or whatever it was. I don't think that was the case. No, with dad with a 20-year-old and 14-year-old daughter, and they took the matters in their own hands. When you say stuff like that, you have the mob instantly is like, yes, fuck all pedophiles. No due process. It's completely what they say would happen. We don't know the truth of what happened. And a sheriff that's like, he went home, probably fucked his wife 7 ways from Sunday because he got to pound the shit out of somebody on an Indian reservation.
Yeah. And so I can only bring it back to the military. So there's like 3 types of people who join the military. There's the ones that are like, I joined the military so I can kill people. Mm-hmm. I've never heard anyone say that in my life. Like, that is the most ridiculous fucking thing I've ever heard. It's movie, it's Hollywood. So that's not what I hear ever. There's people patriotic. I want to serve my country. There's people who do it because they don't have another choice. And really that third option are the people who are trying to figure out who they are, and they want to define themselves and challenge themselves. That's really the three type of people who join the military. This guy is the movie, I would go and beat shit out of people. There are people who are like that.
Yes, lots of them.
Well, I'm not saying there's not. What I'm saying is that you don't hear anyone say that. It's kind of something. It's a speakeasy kind of thing.
I did.
You may 100%. Hear people say that. I'm just telling you from my experience in the military. You don't hear people say, "I just want to kill people." This guy fucking just said that, and to me, he's a clown.
He's the highest position in his county.
Yeah,
where he's going to get people working. We had a new guy come in, and he ultimately turned out to be a great cop. He's still on. I had a big problem when we first started because he came from the Army. He came from the Army, and he was on one of the programs of that where the state funded police officers coming in. So we were all at lunch one day. There's 5 of us sitting in the squad room just having lunch, and out of nowhere, he just goes, "Man, I can't wait to get in my first fight." And we're like, "The fuck is wrong with you?"
Right, that's my point. That's the reaction. You hear people say, like, okay, like Marines, they get out of boot camp, all they want to do is fucking rip people apart and kill them. Okay, so that's different. What I'm saying is people going, "I joined the military to murder people. I joined the police force so I could kill somebody and shoot somebody." I'm sure there's people out there. It's not the norm. This guy openly admits, you get a gun, you get a car. Here quickly now, 30 seconds. So my buddy who helped me become a district manager in retail, and it's a tough nut to crack. You've got to know somebody to get promoted in retail. It's just the way it is. Like store manager is the eclipse. And he's like, "Why do you want to be a DM?" I'm like, "I want the car. I want the credit card. I want the laptop. I want the per diem. Are you kidding me?" And he looks at me and goes, "Okay, now you got the car, you got the laptop, you got the credit card. 2 weeks later, you realize that this is a real fucking job and you don't know what you're doing. Now what?" I think it holds true for people who join the police force to shoot people, to carry a gun or carry a nightstick, and then they realize 2 weeks later, holy shit, this is hard work, this is tough, and have a come to Jesus talk with themselves, or someone else does. That's my guess.
I appreciate that. What is Agenda 25? Do you know anything about that? This is this new thing going around like crazy. Oh, it's not really.
Yeah, it's a little mixed up. It's Agenda 2025.
Okay.
And it's Project 2025 and Agenda 47.
Okay.
Sorry to be, I'm trying to be a fucking know-it-all.
I asked you.
Listen, Dom, you've got it wrong.
Well, no, that's part of this is because I don't know what I saw and I can't find the clip, but apparently there was some black awards where an actress was like, and I didn't see it. I just saw all of a sudden she's talking about Project 25. What the fuck, 2025? Yeah. So I started looking at it and it's all over the place. And I've got a from Donald Trump's website, Agenda 47.
Yes.
But what is Project 2025 first? Let's talk about that.
Okay. We just did this on Friday with Damani Felder. It was a really good show, by the way. So,
and where can
not
people
as good
watch
as when
that?
you come on.
No, where can people watch that episode?
Then go to thedumbshow.com and then go to Spreely TV Channel 1 and just look up Friday's show on the 5th.
Excellent.
So Project 2025 was from the Heritage Foundation. It was a think tank. And the one thing that Democrats do very well, and you know this on Twitter and you're in the game, is that like something like, okay, 3 months ago, the number one thing they were talking about with Trump was poopy pants and how he smelled like shit. And this was all over Twitter that Donald Trump shits himself and people can't stand his scent because he constantly smells like shitty drawers. This was all over. There's no bearing on this. I've never heard this. I've never seen it. I've been literally 100 feet away from him and I've been in the same room with Trump, but never talking to him. And trust me, about. I wasn't close enough to stand next to him, but I saw him in 3 different rooms and 3 different occasions. One was in a hangar, and another one was in a conference room, and could literally throw a rock at him. But nobody's sitting there barfing. And trust me, if you have shitty drawers in a closed, confined space, everybody knows. So then, you get these stories. Then last week it was Project 2025. Okay. And now it's about, he's a kitty toucher. So the claim when this little girl was 13 years old and she filed charges, all this is coming back out. And all the left systematically, everybody, Harry Sisson to fucking Brooklyn Dad, they all just post this shit. this is a concerted effort in what the Democrats have. And what Republicans were trying to do is get politicians on the same page, because one of the things that killed us in 2020 and 2022 is we couldn't land on what we stood on. And there were different viewpoints on immigration and different viewpoints on geopolitical situations. So 2025 was a way to say, here's a training course for all Republicans who are going to serve in legislature, Congress, whatever, city council, that they can take a course and get on the same fucking page. It is not endorsed by the RNC. It's not endorsed by Donald Trump in any way, shape, or form. Trump has never even talked about it. His platform, Agenda 47, has been there since Agenda 45, which is 2016, 2020. This is expanded. It's got like 7 hours of videos. There's about 112 different topics, and Trump has done amazing to lay out his policies. This is just another leftist tactic to assign him some stuff. That's basically, there's some really weird shit in 2025, which I don't agree with. And they're trying to malign it with Trump, and it has nothing to do with him.
Okay.
There it is.
Project 2025, let's see. You could say, President, this is from an article that I pulled up. Project 2025 and the movement that could erode black equality.
Because it's so good right now.
You could say President Donald Trump over the past, whatever. Okay, it's going to be an opinion piece. Let me see some specifics on this. What are the key elements of Project 2025? Education.
Sure.
Project 2025 advocates for rolling back the Biden administration's more recent student debt relief efforts, okay, so let's take this point by point. So this is for college, right? What is the number of black, and I don't, again, I'm going based off of assumption. When I ran for sheriff, I had to look up, in 2018, I had to look up statistics, and I believe, going, because this is Cook County, Illinois, Chicago area, I looked at CPS, Chicago Public Schools. I believe in 2014, the statistic was something like there was a 67% black male high school graduation rate. So if you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of fucking black young boys, I don't know what the girls was, and you're going to roll back the relief on college funding that they're not even going to go to college for, don't you want them to pass high school first? So I don't know how that's an issue. Healthcare.
Or that the Supreme Court's already decided on it and found it to be unconstitutional. So this is a moot point.
But he defied him anyways. Didn't you hear him? He defied the Supreme Court anyways.
Yes, he did.
Healthcare.
So how dare conservatives to follow the law? This is going to be the reoccurring theme in here, by the way. When you break this apart, it's about following the law.
Dude,
this is so oppressive.
This is stupid. The key points, I'm not even going to read them. It's education, healthcare, abortion,
immigration,
LGBTQ, civil rights, which may be climate. Clearly, it only fucking rains acid in the black community or something. It rains bullets. The only thing that would even highlight a look from me to say civil rights. Okay, are they going to take away civil rights? Project 2025 calls for shifting the attention of the U.S. Department of Justice's quashing the supposed menace of the anti-white racism by abolishing affirmative action policies.
Which the Supreme Court also found to be unconstitutional. So here we are again.
Oh my God. Apparently Agenda 47, as from the DonaldTrump.com/Agenda 47. Here's some of the tenets on there. Eliminate drug cartels, end veteran homelessness, end taxpayer-funded benefits for illegal aliens, free world-class education for all Americans. Oh, so wait a second. They're mad because you're not going to eliminate debt for blacks, but you're going to wind up making free education for everybody. All right. Project homeschooling families.
Real quick. It's expanding K through 12 through K through 13 and 14. So it's bringing in 2-year colleges by the state. And instead of those states funding it and charging exuberant amounts, they're going to essentially make it a part of K through 12 education. Now, the reason why Democrats don't want that is because public school funding versus state funding. They want their public school dollars, and they don't want to lose their millions upon millions of wasted fucking dollars that they got from COVID, which some schools are sitting on $20, $30 million worth of nest eggs and were using it for renovation and air conditioners and shit that they didn't fucking need. And now they're like, well, wait a second, we got to fund 2-year colleges as well. Oh, we can't afford to do that, when everyone knows that public schools is the biggest money suck in the world. So that's the problem that they have, because the teachers union runs the Democratic Party.
Chicago Teachers Union strikes more than they teach. I have zero desire to grow old. And the reason being is number one, I'm not taking care of myself as I should. So that means by the time I'm 80, unlike Jack LaLanne, I'll be like fucking Jack. I need 2 lanes to walk. See what I did there? And
no,
I don't.
It is horrible. You're not old.
I'm feeling.
You're going to be fine.
But the point is I will have to rely on people. You know, if I don't take care of myself, and this is where adults go, you're gonna have to be just visiting doctors, nurses, and when you start to go backwards and you look at this, look at the quality of people who are going to be your doctors, your nurses, your aides when you get older, and whatever DEI puts in. And I'm not saying that I don't want a black doctor. What I'm saying is I want a doctor who's educated. And sadly, I don't know if you play this game often. I have a love-hate relationship with memes, because the only part of school I ever loved when I was a kid, and I was a very bad student, was diagramming sentences. Do you remember doing that?
Nope.
Okay, so diagramming sentences, for those who don't know, your teacher would draw a big line on the chalkboard, and then like she would draw a slash at one point, and then like a line that went down, and you would have to put the subject, the verb, the noun, the comma, and I don't know why, I really enjoyed that shit. And when you look at the way that people they spell phonetically now, like have you ever read any of Cardi B's tweets? Yeah, that's not uncommon for people. It's not uncommon. Right. So,
well, that's what Ebonics was.
100% for that was in the 80s, 90s.
Yeah, that's what Ebonics was, phonetic learning. So, yeah,
these are the people that are going to be getting breezed through school, having college debt eliminated, and then because of the color of their skin, are going to be going through college, whatever school is necessary for medical, and then you've got a ruptured spleen, but they're going to want to shave your head and crack it open to see what they could do with your what is it, your amygdala or whatever the fuck it is in your brain. See, I don't even say because I'm not a doctor. We're fucked, dude. I don't want to get old.
Here's the thing I'll say is like, I don't have a problem with going through and stopping predatory lending. Like with the housing crisis, this Bernie and Fannie Mae and Bernie Mac bullshit, this needs to stop. The housing bubble needed to pop, and this is the way it is. Savings and loan scandal, same thing. Predatory lending is unacceptable, and you're taking advantage of people who have no other way to get to college, and they've been sold on this lie that you have to have college in order to be successful, which is one of the biggest misnomers and lies ever. I don't have a problem with going through, but what I have a problem with is putting a Band-Aid on cancer. So what you're doing is saying, okay, in this moment in time, people before this and people posthumous from this event, we're not going to do anything about you. But this small snapshot of people, we're going to go ahead and forgive your debt, but we're going to allow all other debt to be accumulated. And anyone who's paid off that debt with unfair practices, you guys are fucked. So how about this? How about instead of just going and making John Q taxpayer forgive this debt, how about you go after the banks? And how about you go after the college institutions who profited from this? And everyone takes it in the shorts. The government takes a little bit. The people take a little bit. The credit unions take a little bit. The banks take a bit. And the college universities take a little bit. And then go after the states who allowed these to go through an FDIC. But that's not what happens. What do? They do what's easy. And Biden says, fuck it, we'll just go ahead and raise taxes. And this is what liberals do. So I put myself through school through the military. Anything that I went ahead and put out of my pocket, should I be reimbursed? Now, what about other educations? What about going through, vocational schools? Does that count? What about making investments in buying books? Do I get reimbursed for that? So it just comes down to this, Dom. It's stupid.
Wasn't there tax?
It's fucking stupid.
I went to 2 or 3 months of community college when I was 18. Wasn't there something where like you got credits for your books and you buy them and then when you sold them back in, you got credit for them?
Yeah, you trade them back into the used bookstore, but it was like you get 75% of what they're worth, which is fine. Or you sell them in the student union and all your notes are in there. That's what I did. I put all my notes in the book and then I sold the book for higher than what it was worth because I had all the notes from the teacher.
I just don't understand where the concept, where did the concept go of pressuring, right? It's like pick a field. Don't you want the people in there to have been like pressure tested and just be like, okay, instead of, and Maddie Wack and Scott Severson, I talked about this last Wednesday. I respond so much better to negative reinforcement than I do to any type of praise. And I don't care if it was an athletic or a job where people are like, "Kid, you fucking suck. You're shit at what you do." That made me, okay, fuck you. I want to improve. We don't have that anywhere anymore.
No.
Even in school, I can't imagine people being like, "Hey, listen, you're going to fail this class. So you better knuckle down and get your grades up." Oh, no, you're going to change my grade and give me an A, or I'm going to have my mom come in and pitch a bitch about racism.
Or you get to retake the test, like what they're doing with my kids. Your test makeup. I'm like, test makeup? What the fuck is that? Well, we get a second chance if we failed. No, you don't. And the thing is that the reason, the problem with the technological bubble is things started to progress so very fast. Whatever you were majoring in at the time, 4 years later, that was like the moneymaker, whether it was accounting or marketing degrees or getting into electronics or computer science, is that by the time you're done, that field has become completely irrelevant because it is mass produced from these colleges to fill that quota. So instead of being innovative and us filling jobs that are going to be relevant 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years down the road, which they're going to need experiential on the job learning, which makes and puts that skin in the game that you're talking about. What we try to do is sell for what's hot now. And it's the constant, we're behind. We're always behind. And that's like right now we should be investing in, nanotechnology. You should be investing in microprocessors, things to that effect, semiconductors, and you should be teaching that because that is where we're going to go. Because we're in pharmaceuticals, we're going to have to take those two things over from China. So that's what people should be majoring in. And what are they majoring in? Gender fucking studies right now and underwater basket weaving.
You ever see like the differences what TikTok in China has with their what's circulating in their youth versus ours? It's like they're fucking like math and physics and this and that. And then over here, it's, let's do these stupid pranks going on the street and see if somebody can get fucking just, no, it's a prank, dude. I wasn't, trying to fucking call you out.
And they go to school like 14 hours a day and every day, every year.
Dude, I used to talk to people who were from maybe I grew up a little bit biased. My doctor, my pediatrician, when I was a kid, Dr. Maraca, she was from India. And I always, like for some strange reason, I gravitated towards the bedside manner and demeanor of people from India who I just felt a better care with them. And years ago, I spoke to somebody who explained to me, I met a Russian brain surgeon who was not qualified to be anything other than a phlebotomist in the United States. And I met a guy in India, and they said school over there, instead of 4 years, they do 3 years there, and they pressure the shit out of people to get it done. And I'm like, how many times do you look back in your life where you're like, man, I did that for 4 years. Shit, can you imagine if I had knuckled down and done this for fucking 3 years and really fuck girls and going out and doing all this shit. Let's focus 100% on your career for 3 solid years. Americans don't do that. I don't trust American. No. I don't trust white. I don't trust fucking anybody born in America through American society. I would not want as a doctor, to be honest. If you don't have an accent, I don't want you as a doctor. I don't. You don't take your schooling seriously. This is my view.
Yeah. By the way, Russian doctors are fucking crazy. And Indian doctors, bedside manner. Iranian doctors are actually fantastic. My dentist is Iranian, Persian, whatever, and she's amazing. And she just tears the Band-Aid off. She's like, yeah, we're yanking this tooth. And I'm like, hey doc, can we talk about this? She goes, sure. Show me your degree. I don't have one.
Dude, okay, do you not have fucking respect about that? That
Yeah.
I would have fucking respect for that. That's fantastic.
I do. And she's hot too. So that's good.
Who gives you the finger? Have you had the finger yet?
The finger?
Yeah. You're 40. Are you 49? How old are you?
Oh, you mean prostate exam? Every night in my bedroom. I mean,
Yeah.
every day that ends with Y. So no, no, I haven't. I don't do that. I do the
Neither-
poop in the box thing.
What? Is that an
The
option?
poop in the box. So
That's an option?
yeah. Yeah. You poop in the box. And then if they have like, I don't know, it's not endocrine, but if there's a certain level of like, I can't even remember what it is when you're looking for prostate, certain level of whatever in your fecal matter, then you are flagged for possible cancer. It's higher than looking at blood count and better, more probability of success. And it's just as accurate as a early warning system as getting a finger. So they don't do prostate anymore.
Was it as pleasurable?
But I don't have cancer in my family, so I don't even care. Like,
See,
I don't even fucking, there's no cancer in my family.
I base everything on that too. 40 came, didn't get the finger. I'll be 50 in 8 months. Not going to get the finger unless I'm
No, I'm not
unless
either.
I'm paying her.
It's going to be hard. I'm going to have a stroke or a heart attack. That's what kills my family. Stroke or heart attack or brain aneurysm, which is on my mom's side. So brain aneurysm, stroke, heart attack. I'm doing what's necessary. I take care of my body. I don't eat shit. And if I die, I die. I mean, Greg Louganis or Lance Armstrong, for fuck's sakes, dude, look at that guy. I mean, that guy had everything go wrong with him.
I'm worried because my grandmother on my mother's side lived to be 84. My father's mother lived to be 94. My grandmother's and my grandfather's sisters and siblings all in their 90s. It's like, fuck, dude, I've got longevity in my life and I don't want that.
You're going to let go. Shit. You're going to be fine.
I'm saying 85.
You have to annoy me.
85 is good. And I want to go in a bomb dropping. Or
you're going to meet a woman. You're going to meet a woman.
Oh,
watch.
then I'll go. Then I'll fucking die right then and there. All right, the Dumb Show. What's going on for the Dumb Show tonight?
7 o'clock, we will have Amy, Leroy, myself all in the house, and we'll be live at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can find that on thedumbshow.com, Spreely.tv, channel 1. We're over on wimkin.com. Go take a look. You can find us everywhere. Just type in The Dumb Show, and that's without a B, and you put that in Google, and you'll find it everywhere.
Is his name legitimately Leroy Brown?
No, it's a pseudonym.
You know, fucking he's the baddest man
He
in the
has
whole
to.
damn town.
His clearance is
he
higher
meaner?
than most admirals.
Is he meaner than a junkyard dog?
Yeah, I get the reference, but
I know,
no, it's not Leroy Brown. And
Many
it's with
people
two E's.
don't. Many people don't get the reference at all. Jim
Kind of
Croce
looks like
does.
him, but white.
There you go. Guys, have a great damn day. Welcome back after the long weekend. Go over to Spreely.com and check out all the fun stuff. Support the show. We love you. Report in Alpines. Eric Butler sitting in tomorrow. It's Tuesday. We got a full week. We'll see you. Have a great damn day. Go do something nice for somebody. And if you can't help them, just don't hurt them. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Peaceful side.